NBC Sports presents a national championship. Conducted by the United States Golf Association. Today, it's final round coverage of the U.S. Women's Open.
Championship Sunday amid the rolling farmland of Pumpkin Ridge. This natural, rural, idyllic golf terrain is a half-hour drive west of Portland. The Witch Hollow Golf Course, just 6 years old, hosts its second USGA Championship in less than a year. The weather, it's improved every day on this championship, and for this final round, temperatures expected to warm up into the 80s here in the Great Northwest. The round of this championship turned in yesterday. Last year's Rookie of the Year, Kari Webb, totaled 6 birdies, and this eagle at the par 5 fourth, a 65 for the 22-year-old Aussie as she moved up 30 spots on the leaderboard to 5th place. And the highlight for Hall of Famer Nancy Lopez's third round, 48 career wins, never an open title, an eagle at the same hole. What a start. 3 under in her first 4 holes. She would finish with her 3rd straight round in the 60s. A 69 to begin the final round, 3 shots back of Alison Nicholas. And the diminutive Brit rock solid all day, all the way to 18. Her 3rd shot to the par 5. She was unshakable. Just 3 bogeys in 3 rounds for Alison. And when she made birdie on the final hole yesterday, it capped off the finest 54-hole total in U.S. Women's Open history, shattering Meg Mallon's total by 2 shots set 2 years ago. And then in action from today's final round, an early shootout has ensued in the final pairing between Nancy Lopez and Alison Nicholas. This the 2nd shot for Nancy on the very first hole, a par 4, 379 yards. She would make birdie there to get to 8 under and within 2 of Nicholas. Then another birdie putt at 3. And Lopez, 2 birdies in the first 3 holes. She got within 1 of Alison Nicholas. But Nicholas parring the first 2 holes. Then for here, birdie on the same hole at 3. Just gets in the cup. Her lead was back up to 2. Then on the par 5 fourth, Lopez eagled this hole yesterday. Watch her 3rd shot here today. Within 2 feet. That set up another birdie for Nancy. But the 3rd shot on the same hole by Nicholas. And back and forth they go. Although this one went in the hole for eagle. 65 yards out, and the lead was back up to 3. Tammy Green is also staging a shootout of her own. At 3 under here, began the day at +2. Her 2nd shot at 13. Birdied 5 holes in a row on the front 9. Has 2 more, including that one there at 13 on the back 9. And Tammy Green is looking for a new Women's Open record. It was 63 shot by Helen Alfredson back in 1994. And Green needs just 1 more birdie here to try and tie it. But the battle going on is between Alison Nicholas and Nancy Lopez. The lead is 3 through 5 holes. And Kari Webb, who shot the 65 yesterday, is also off to a good start today. She's 2 under through her first 7 holes. Michelle Redmond, Akiko Fukushima of Japan, playing well. They're at 3 under. And let's go out live to that shootout. It's now at the par 4 6th. Nicholas and Lopez are there, and we'll pick up Alison Nicholas for par. And Roger Maltby has been there this morning and this afternoon. And Roger, they're going at it pretty good, huh?
The golf has been nothing but spectacular. It is just one great shot after another. Alison Nicholas has this 4.5 footer for par. Back uphill, made a very good approach putt from the extreme right fringe to this point. This should move a little bit to her left. Good 2 putts.
Alison just 3 bogeys in the championship. 2 of them came at this 6th hole, and she just avoided one there. And now Nancy Lopez.
Nancy's second shot went just through the green into the back fringe, had a lightning quick putt. She elected to putt from the fringe to this point, and this more straight uphill shouldn't do much.
This is the hardest hole in the golf course, so this is pretty good stuff, Roger. They've both come away with 4s here.
Two solid pars on a very difficult hole by Lopez and Nicholas, and Allison's lead remains 3. Back at 8, par 4, second shot of Kari Webb, 65 yesterday, again the round of the championship. This her second shot. Currently tied with Tammy Green for 3rd place at 5 under par and within birdie range at 8. To 16, this is Tammy Green for par. And a bogey at 16. She drops a shot for the first time of the day and gets back down to 4 under.
Well, this 7th hole is a fantastic hole, par 5, 559 yards, one of the longest holes women in any event ever have to play. It's downhill about 100 feet. Heavily bunkered. You can see the chute of trees that you have to go through, and it's a very difficult hole. It's a serpentine kind of driving shot. You can sort of wiggle it in there to the right, and then it bends back to the left. You do not want to go right or in the bunkers.
This tee shot going down the right side of the fairway. Should be in great shape. Oh, got a bad bounce to the right.
That's all right, Roger. Just around the edge.
Allison has been increasing her driving length each and every round of this championship.
Very efficient swing and great leg drive. Nancy Lopez has been driving the ball so well, it's unbelievable. Just missing 3 fairways in the first 3 rounds.
That's a good one here.
Both safely in the fairway at the par 5 7th, and we welcome you to this final round of this championship. Dan Hicks along with Marlene Floyd and Johnny Miller, and what a start. Marlene, it's basically turned into match play with Nicholas and Lopez distancing themselves away from the field. Kari Webb at 8 shots behind Nicholas now, so it is a two-way affair in the final pairing for the most part.
It will be a match play event, and you know the magnitude of winning the U.S. Open. How about the magnitude of playing with Nancy Lopez in the final round for Allison Nicholas? She's probably never even dreamed of being in this situation. Nancy talked her into playing the tour over here. You know, the crowds are all going to be pulling for Nancy, so Allison's got to just stay in her little dynamo package, which is what she is, and not back down, not get over-intimidated.
Johnny, what about the caliber of golf we've seen in the highlights here in a pressure-packed final round Sunday in a U.S. Open? How are they doing that?
You know, I've been in the game pretty long, and I don't think I've ever seen 2 players that sort of separated themselves from the field, go head-to-head right out of the get-go on Sunday and play this kind of golf. I can't even remember. Maybe Watson and Nicholas at Turnberry at the British Open. That's the only time I can think of. And, of course, they had a lot more experience than Allison and Nicholas. Allison's playing very well. She's 3rd in greens hit and 3rd in putting. And Nancy Lopez, #1 in greens hit, #1s in fairways hit. So you're talking about 2 players that are in the zone big time, and they are not backing down. It's wonderful.
Also calling the action from the towers today will be Gary Koch and Dave Marr, and roaming the fairways along with Roger Maltby, Kay Cockrell, 2-time U.S. Women's Amateur Champ, and 2-time U.S. Women's Open Champion Donna Caponi. And we'll take you out to 14 and Dave Marr.
And this Julie Inkster, 1 over for her round today. This for a birdie moments ago. It's a very dangerous hole, and she holds it for only the 7th birdie here today to get to 1 over for the championship. Let's go back to 8.
And Kari Webb for birdie, this to get to 6 under. Again, 2 under on a round today. Off the mark there, but Webb 65 tied the Open record for the lowest 3rd round score, matching Judy Dickinson's total back in '85. And back over to 7. Hackney for birdie.
Moves a little left at the end, not much, a little slow from there.
Lisa, also from England, like Alison Nicholas, beginning the day in 3rd place, and back out in the fairway. There is the leader by 3.
Roger, it is quite astounding that Nancy Lopez does what she did at the beginning, and Alison just answers her like, hey, I can handle this.
That's what's really impressive, John. You have to give Solheim Cup experience, I think, the nod in that direction, because the crowds adore Nancy here. They're applauding her every step, every time she comes to a tee shot in the fairway or walks to the green or to the next tee. There's applause greeting her at every step. And Alison Nicholas has just put all that behind her and just keeps one-upping her. And it's been very impressive to this point. Now she has over 300 yards left to the green here. So this is a layup shot. She carries 5 woods in her bag. So this most likely a 7-wood.
23 yards wide where she's going to be hitting this ball into. You don't want to miss it right. And that's, again, just positioned like a machine hit it.
Well, ahead to 17, and Danica Pony has joined the group. Tammy Green.
Tammy, 165 with a 5-iron.
Whole location way back in the center.
And release, oh, that ball checked up a little bit. Rolling down towards the center of the green, but it'll have a long birdie putt.
And back to 7, Lopez.
See, Nancy aims the ball to the right more than most players. Plays a little draw shot, Roger.
Right down the left center. Very nice.
Pretty much side by side with Alison Nicholas in the fairway at the par 5 7th. An early shootout in this 51st U.S. Women's Open. Well, coming into this championship, all the talk was about Annika Sorenstam going for the unprecedented three-peat in this Women's Open Championship. There she is today, practicing on the practice tee after opening rounds of 77 and 73, the first champion to miss the cut since 1985 when Hollis Stacy wasn't able to get it done. And now Alison Nicholas, her 3rd shot at the 7th, the par 5. Roger.
This from 125 yards, the wind, what there is of it, not blowing very hard, but against the players and from the left a wee bit. And this is an 8-iron, choked down.
Very accessible hole location here. Very easy to get it close. Got sideboards, backboards.
Sit down. Sit.
Right there's a little backboard.
And ahead to 18, it's a par 5. This a moment ago, Michelle McGann for birdie.
Very fast putt. This whole location, if you're above the hole, you see how easily she hits this putt, and that is almost picking up speed at that time. That would have been 6, 7, 8 feet by.
McGann was considered one of the favorites coming in here after winning in her last start previously, and Nancy again, 3rd shot, 7.
Pitching wedge from 113 yards, going right at it if we'll get up a little.
Well, 48 career wins for Lopez, 2 LPGA wins for Alison Nicholas of England. She has won worldwide, but never a championship of this magnitude. "35 years ago, she was born in Gibraltar, and this week, Alison Nicholas has been the rock of consistency. She seized the lead with a second round 66, and with this birdie at 18 yesterday, broke the record 54-hole total in U.S. Women's Open history by 2 shots. But how would she handle today's final round?
You know, I mean, I think the most important part really is to enjoy it, really, because I mean, you've got this far, and to not enjoy the rest would be crazy, you know. I think what I've done the last 3 days I'm very proud of, and I think it would make no sense if I didn't enjoy it, and I think I'm trying to enjoy it and be calm and just play my game and keep hitting fairways and greens, basically. And if I do get into a little spot of trouble, then to get out and regroup and not try any silly shots.
Nicholas is a veteran of Solheim Cup competition, teaming up with Laura Davies in 1996. The leaderboard after 3 rounds here found Nicholas on top, with fellow Brit Lisa Hackney in 3rd. And both have been under the watchful, supportive eye of Europe's top player.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of Europeans playing over here and British players, and I think that it's great to have them while we're all together, basically. And I think that's important, yeah, and I think we inspire each other and we're always encouraging each other and helping each other. And so it's great for us, really.
And now on the threshold of a U.S. Women's Open Championship, Nicholas recognizes its significance.
I won the British Open in '87 and that was huge. I mean, that was my first win. And I've always wanted to, you know, contend and win a major championship in the US. It'd be a dream come true.
And Alison Nicholas trying to become just the 2nd Brit to win this championship. Laura Davies won it in '87 and trying to become just the 7th non-American to win the Women's Open. The lead is 3 right now as she plays the par 5 7th. Roger?
Yeah, this putt from just a little over 25 feet, downhill sharply. Pretty quick putt. Might move a little bit to the left, but not a big breaking putt.
Roger, she told me that putting is the strongest part of her game, and she certainly improved that these last 3.5 rounds.
Well, she's got to be awfully good then, because she certainly hit a lot of wonderful golf shots.
Roger, Nancy's sort of, what, in the fall line just a bit there?
Pretty much, yeah. This putt won't do much at all, John. It's about 25 feet, back uphill, so something she can be aggressive with, but I wouldn't know that this would really be realistic as far as holding it.
Well, they're both sort of less than average 3rd shots that they hit in there.
I think Nancy was a little bit in between clubs, and there was a little breeze into her face and elected to hit the hard pitching wedge. Just not quite enough.
She's had wonderful pace with her putter this year. Her fellow competitors have said in the past that the reason Nancy had not won U.S. Opens were the greens were too fast for her. You remember how aggressive she used to be as a putter. Her pace this week has been marvelous.
Wow. Look at this.
Just flattened out on her at the hole. I think she thought it was going to keep turning and go on that top edge. She's feeling, hey, that's going in. That's going in. Oh, man.
She was jumping up like she had a birdie.
Alison knows she dodged a bit of a bullet there.
Well, this is still near flawless golf being played by Lopez and Nicholas. No bogeys thus far. Still both 3 under on their rounds today. Moments ago at 17, Green for birdie, continuing her assault on the U.S. Women's Open record. But that falling short at 17. She'll remain at 4 under.
And Julie Angster coming off a birdie after at 14. This is moments ago. Just to get even par for the championship. Looked good, and she made it. 2 birdies in a row at 14-15 for Angster. Get the even par. Let's go to 12.
And the young Italian Stefano Croce here on this short par 3 12th, today measuring 133 yards. She's 4 under par for the championship. And a beautifully played shot here. Currently 3 under par in her final round, having the tournament of her life. We'll go back to 8.
It is a par 4, 366 yards.
You can see it moves a little bit to the right. It's got a wiggle to it, and it runs down into the green right there. The secret is to keep it short of the double bunkers in the middle, and if you can get it just short of those bunkers, you have a good opportunity for a birdie. And there's a left hole location, sort of left front, which again, the two easy hole locations in a row were probably number 7 and 8. So good chance for birdie if either one of these players can get it in the fairway off the tee.
Tee shot going right down the right center.
Averaged 261 on her drives yesterday. Drives measured at a couple of holes here at Pumpkin Ridge.
I mean, normally, you know, under intense pressure, if you have any weaknesses, it'll start showing up. And these two players are just playing like it's a dream round, like nobody's woken them up yet. I mean, just amazing. No weakness.
They're just hitting every shot well, John. They're not missing anything. Every shot's been solid so far.
Nancy missed any fairway so far?
Not yet. Today, no.
Might be a hook.
This ball going up the left side needs a bounce.
Oh, what a bounce.
It gets it. That's fine.
What a bounce.
Still has not missed a fairway. Lopez and Nicklaus. And a duel at Pumpkin Ridge. Allison with a 3-shot lead through 7. Stay with us. Well, as Nancy Lopez in the hunt for her very first Open Championship, plays today. Her husband, Ray Knight, the manager of the Cincinnati Reds, his game just ended in Cincinnati, and another tough one for Nancy's husband. Pedro Martinez tossed a one-hitter as Montreal beat the Reds 2-0. But you can bet he's headed home now, as Nancy's and their 3 daughters, Ashley, Aaron, and Tori, are watching at home in Cincinnati as Mom goes for the championship.
Roger.
Nancy has 143 yards to hold. This is 7, Hearn. Shot a little right of the hole.
Just barely carried that bunker, and it's a good shot.
Ahead to 12.
And the birdie putt for Stefano Croce. And nicely done. That moves her to 5 under par for the championship. Her best finish this year, a tie for 13th, so quite a tournament. We go to 18.
Well, here is Tammy Green finishing up at 18, the par 5. Donna Caponi is there. This is the 3rd. This has to go in to tie the record.
What a great round. 76 yards. This is a sand wedge.
So the Open record will be safe for another year, but Tammy Green still with a birdie chance to have a 7-under round, back to 8.
Allison Nicklaus from 120 yards. Choked down 8-iron again. This hole plays a little uphill on the second shot. Play a little longer than the yardage. This ball just left of the hole. More good shots, John.
Yep, very nice.
2-11.
And Kelly Robbins' birdie effort. Down the hill, should turn a little to her left. Very nicely done, and Kelly Robbins moves to 4 under par for the championship, 2 under par in her final round.
And at 16, Julie Inkster for birdie. This for her 3rd straight.
Straight in.
3 in a row for Inkster. Who had a tough time at 18 yesterday, but the gallery here today applauding Tammy Green. 5 straight birdies on the front 9 to get to 3 under. She added 2 more at 13 and 14, had a bogey at 16 to pretty much end the threat. But what a final round in the Open.
First 3 rounds, 74, 70, 71, and looking pretty good right here for
64. She had only 6 birdies in the first 3 rounds, 7 today. Well, earlier today, Jenny Shusiraporn, one of 2 amateurs to make the cut, finished up. That was a par putt, so she finishes up with a bogey, but the 20-year-old amateur from Duke finishes at +13, and his low amateur Brenda Corey Keene had a 78 today. She was the other amateur making the cut, finished at +18. Now at the 12.
Tee shot of Kelly Robbins on the way. That's a 9-iron. In the hole measuring 133 yards. This looks good. Oh, easily the best shot we've seen today at 12. Robbins will have that short birdie putt to move to 5 under par for the championship. To the 8th.
And a birdie attempt now for Lopez. Roger?
Well, this putt will move quite a bit to Nancy's left. Maybe a foot or more of break. It's come to rest right on a ridge that separates the left and right side of this green, so she's actually putting downhill, and then as the ball starts to move left, it'll actually track back uphill slightly.
Both putts, Allison's also is a big breaker, isn't it?
Yes, and downhill, very sharply downhill from her angle.
You see how far right she's aiming?
That back uphill just ran out of steam. Well, that's disappointing. 2 very good putts this last 2 holes, and I think all that kept either one of them out was just a little pace.
Now at 18, this for the lowest ever 4th round score in Women's Open history.
I worked on this putt last night. It breaks more than it looks, and it's very quick. She hits it very easily, as you can see. And see it trickling.
Back to 8. Allison Nicholas's turn. Roger?
This putt from just inside 15 feet downhill and will move to Allison's right. Very quick, very steeply downhill from this point. Just got to get it off the hole. Oh, maybe 6 inches from this point and just watch it go.
Be interesting to know what's going on in her head, Roger, whether it's like, man, this is amazing. I can't believe I'm doing this. It's so much fun. She seems to be sort of a Laura Davies type that she enjoys a zest for life and a great attitude and very appreciative.
Well, had to be very timid with it, and it took a lot of swing to the right.
And now Tammy Green at 18, this for par. And that ties the lowest ever 4th round score in U.S. Women's Open history, 65 for Tammy Green. It ties the round of the championship shot by Kari Webb yesterday. And it'll be the 4th straight top 10 in a U.S. Women's Open for Tammy Green. There it is, Ayaka Okamoto in 89, Sally Little back in 78. What a Sunday for Green.
Wow, sort of tied the lead for the other tournament that's going on. You have sort of 2 tournaments. You got Allison Nicholas and Nancy Lopez that are spread eagle to field by 5 shots to 8 shots.
Back to 12.
And the short tap-in birdie putt for Kelly Robbins. Nicely done. That moves Robbins to 5 under par for the championship. 3 under par in her final round to 15.
Par 3, 164 yards today. Patty Sheehan. Even par, 1 under for a round today. And look at this shot. Look at this. Whoa. Dr. Dottie Pepper hit a wonderful shot in there. Sheehan knocked it stiff.
Johnny set up the par 4 9th for us, 388.
9th hole is a good hole. You can see there's a double bunker that separates this fairway. The players can choose if they're long hitters at about 215 to carry that bunker right there, or most players are going down the left side. You can see the teeing area is back in this area. I'm sorry, it's in this area here. And so the players are trying to fit it down into this area, and then there's a tree here. There's a key tree that's in the way of this left hole location that's going on today. So left side fairway would be a tougher second shot.
Got this ball going to the right. Should carry the fairway bunkers.
It's sort of a funny hop to the right, and it's a very good angle, though, Roger, in the light rough intermediate cut for this left hole location. And we'll take a look at that hop again. It hits on the downslope, almost went in the bunker by about 5 feet, So in a way, I was fortunate, but kicked straight right, but a very good angle to this left hole location.
Well, Johnny, she had it set up down the left side of the fairway, though. She hit that ball a good 25, 30 yards right of where she was trying to play it.
Well, it seems like everything's going good for both of these fine ladies. But Nancy Lopez, you'll notice her backswing is a Jim Furyk, Miller Barber, Gabriel, or whatever you want to talk about. It goes way outside the line and crosses the top. But boy, watch how she shoots her right side down the line and chases after with her right hip and right shoulder. See that? That's beautiful.
Go. She's ball low and going at the fairway bunker.
Uh-oh, that's not what you want. It was dead down the middle of the fairway, but not enough height, and it's up near the lip, side hill lie.
So advantage Allison Nicholas at the par 4 ninth as we continue our final round coverage of this 51st U.S. Women's Open.
You are watching the U.S. Women's Open on NBC Sports.
Welcome back, and this after a wonderful tee shot at the par 3. A birdie, her 5th of the day for Patty Sheehan to get to 2 under for the round today and 1 under for the championship for the 2-time U.S. Women's Open winner. Let's go to 10.
And at the longest par 3 on the golf course today, measuring 196 yards, this is Lisa Hackney's tee shot. It's a 3-iron. And beautifully played. Hole has yielded the fewest birdies of any hole on the golf course. We'll go back to 9.
From the bunker, the second shot of Nancy Lopez. Roger has not pulled a club yet, but has been very successful here in the Portland area in previous years. All the way back in '74, won the U.S. Girls Junior here, Portland team event in '79, and then has won as well several times on the LPGA Tour. And now we get a report from Roger on the lie out there in the bunker.
Well, Nancy has 161 yards to the hole, but very near the front lip of this bunker. Quite a steep slope in front of her. She's got a bit of an uphill lie, which will help. She has 147 to the front edge, but I don't believe, Johnny, she can get this ball that high and carry it that far.
Looks like she's going to give it a go. She's looking at the hole.
Yeah, she's hit the ball pretty solid, very high, but it won't get to the green. Good shot, though. About all she could hope for, really, from there.
And ahead to 13, Stefania Crochet. This for birdie. And continuing her stellar play. That is her 6th birdie of this final round against just 1 bogey. And back over to 9, just off of the fairway is Nicholas. Roger?
Just in the intermediate cut of the rough on the right-hand side, but a perfect angle, as Johnny said, to play at this hole. Has 137. This is an 8-iron.
Doesn't like it, Roger.
Didn't sound like it hit it very well, Johnny, like she hit it at all well. It's going a little left.
Yeah, tough little pitch shot from there.
So both Nicholas and Lopez off the mark at the 9th. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club. Just the 2nd time, and Women's Open has been held here in the Pacific Northwest the very first time, all the way back in '46 at the very first Women's Open. Now the 3rd shot at 9 for Nancy Lopez, the par 4.
Going with an old-fashioned little pitch and run. You don't see much of this. 2 bounces before it reaches the green. Feeds right up there, and that is very nicely done.
Nancy still without a bogey so far on her front 9. I'll remind you, for complete online coverage of this U.S. Women's Open, visit golf.com. Take a multimedia tour of picturesque Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club here, courtesy of Golf Media, with course topography and pictures, plus listen to post-match audio net interviews with the players. It's all at golf.com. And for up-to-the-minute scores, check out www.usga.org.
You know, you viewers probably think this is an easy little pitch shot, but Roger, this has a little bit of uniqueness to it, doesn't it?
It does. There's a little bit of a false front. The green falls off at her the first 5-6 feet onto the green, John. So she can elect to pitch it up on top of that, or she can take something very straight-faced and run it up. Looks like she's got something lofted, and we'll try to carry it up on top.
Got a little heavy, didn't she, or no?
No,
Good.
not bad at all.
It's very good. Hit right into the top of it, huh? Nice shots, huh?
Well, with that par save, it'll be 21 straight holes without a bogey.
Look at that good form. Nice big backswing. Look at the shaft angle. That's the key right there. Most people, amateurs, they don't have that shaft angle. Shaft angle's this way. So you got to really watch that on your chipping, is keep that handle moving, shaft angle forward. Textbook Allison.
Now Nancy with a big par putt to remain 3 back. That's where this final round began. Nancy 3 back.
Well, this putt shouldn't do much at all. Not much breaking this green. May try to sneak a little left, but you just can't afford to miss any of these. Certainly, as well as Allison Nicholas is playing, she's going to have to make all the 4- and 5-footers today, John.
Yep, I putted this putt. This is about as straight as you can get. Nope, that's not going to break that way. First bad stroke either one of them made.
And her first bogey of the day comes at 9, drops her to 9 under, and now she's 4 back.
You know, sometimes, Roger, when you hit every single fairway and you finally miss one, you figure, I guess I'm supposed to bogey. You know, I'm not saying she thought that, but it's amazing how that works that way.
It's funny how your subconscious mind can play tricks on you. You're right.
It's like, okay, I guess I should bogey this hole.
Now Nicholas, who has made just 3 bogeys in this entire championship, still without one today. This for par.
Again, not much break at all. This is sort of a flat little spot once you get up on top, Roger.
And a 1-shot swing at 9. So to the turn, the lead by Allison Nicholas has grown to 4.
Pretty much the way they played the first 2 days. 1 under par, the front 9 for Lopez.
Ahead at 10.
And the birdie putt for Lisa Hackney down the hill. Quick putt. Moving to her left. Just ran out of speed, a little too tentative. We go to the 13th.
And Kelly Robbins. This for birdie. Looking for her 3rd straight. Just off the mark.
What a nice putt.
3 under on her round today after the tough round yesterday for Kelly Robbins. Began the day at 2 under, and cruising the skies all championship week long is the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1. Bob Michelson capturing some great shots from high above the golf course here at Witch Hollow. And the MetLife Blimps Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 have been providing panoramic views of sporting events across the country for the past decade. Back down to 12, Gary.
And at the short par 3, Kari Webb will be hitting first. Just a 9-iron.
Has to carry it at least 128 if going at the pin. Bailing a little right.
Well, should get a little kick though, Kay.
That's a great shot, actually, isn't it?
Move it toward the hole. That's good course management, good execution. And a great graphic here. We see her front 9 play +1, back 9 -6. We'll go to the 10th. And Allison Nicholas, our leader. Hole today measuring 196 yards. Roger Maltby's there.
This will be a 7-wood for Allison. What a front 9 to lead by 3 and go out in 33, Gary. That's pretty impressive.
That is great play, and we see there she's hit 7 of 9 greens in regulation. Again, this is the most difficult par 3 on the golf course.
Wind helping the player slightly right now. Shot started at the right side of the green, drawing just a little right of the hole.
And nicely played. Leaves it underneath the hole. Very well executed. Mentioned earlier, this hole has yielded the fewest number of birdies of any hole on the golf course throughout the championship. Just 25, just 3 today.
And Gary, Allison Nicholas has made 1 birdie and 2 bogeys on this 10th hole, and Lopez has made 2 pars and 1 bogey.
Well, it's certainly that kind of hole, Marlene. If you don't hit a good tee shot, making par is very difficult. Roger, the club.
Just a 4-iron for Nancy. Again, wind helping slightly. You get the sense that if Nancy is to win this event, she is going to have to shoot a great back 9. Nice shot, right of the hole.
Well, asking for a left-hand kick, but not getting it. Safely on, but a long way from the hole to 14.
Stefania Crochet, this is her second shot at the 14th. 6 under for the championship, 5 under on her round today. And it came out of that rough a little hot, and just runs into the back fringe. And let's go to Beth Ruriak.
Hey Dave, thank you. I'm sitting up here with Tammy Green, and what a U.S. Open player you are. 4th now, top 10 finish. Did you feel the record watchers watching you every hole along the way?
Well, I didn't really think about the record. I was trying to post a real low score today, and you never know what's going to happen the last round of the U.S. Open, but to go out and shoot what I shot today was, it's a great feeling and a great Open for me.
When was your heart pounding the hardest?
You know, I think probably right after the putt I made on 14, I thought, well, you know, now if I can get a couple more coming in, just see what happens. But, you know, when the crowd just would roar with each birdie, you know, the goosebumps stand up on the arm, and, you know, it's just a great feeling. The whole Open from start to finish is good.
Well, 5 birdies in a row in the front 9, and let's take a look at 2 of them on the back 9. We'll take a look first at 13.
On the 13th hole, I drove it pretty well, but it caught the first cut of the rough, and I had 114, and just hit a great shot there with a wedge.
And a birdie putt in, and now the 14th, another birdie putt.
There again, I had a 9-iron in, and just hit a great putt. I actually read it to go a little more right, and it came back to the left at the end, which I was glad to see when it goes to the bottom of the hole.
Well, this is really still a comeback victory for you after last spring and a really rough surgery that involved a tremendous blood loss, and you missed a lot of the spring. And
actually, I only played 17 tournaments last year, and I did miss a lot of the spring, the beginning of the year, but I feel strong and got off to a good start at the sprint this year, and had 3 second-place finishes since then, and even last week. And I thought coming into this Open, my game was online, and I would have a good Open, but off to a rough start, but had a great finish.
Yeah, Tammy, people do remember great finishes, and you have one. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Go back now to the action on the 12th. We think we're going back to the 12th.
Thank you, Beth. Back at the 12th, the birdie putt now for Donna Andrews. Coming down the hill, pretty straight from this position. Yes, and Andrews moves to 4 under par. She likes it here in the Portland area. Won her first LPGA event right here in Portland in 1993 to 14.
Crochet at the 14th, her 3rd shot. Needs to get up a little bit. Daughter of a golf professional, good player in his own right, won a senior tour event in Europe. And let's go back to 10.
Where Nancy Lopez is eyeing a very lengthy birdie putt. Roger Maltby's with this group.
Well, it's about 30 feet, Gary, and pretty much up the fall line of the green. There's not a lot of movement up here.
So got the speed. Oh. Another great effort. And a nice, easy par at the par 3/10 for Nancy Lopez. Back to the short par 3/12, Kari Webb. Here Hear the bullfrogs in the background. That's usually a good luck charm for her in a practice round. She made a putt, heard that noise, wondered what it was. We'll go to 14.
Stephanie Crochet, this save par. Drop a shot to go back to 4 under for the day, 5 under for the championship. She's got it from Lucca, Italy, and from England at the 10th.
Our leader, Allison Nicholas. Roger, very much the same type putt?
Very similar putt, about 5 feet closer, but not much movement. She had to learn a lot from watching Nancy's.
Pace has been wonderful throughout this championship. In fact, has not recorded a 3-putt to this point, so putting the long putts very well. And there's another great leg. And a very easy and solid par 3 for our leader. They'll now move over to the par 5 11th. And we look down at the 11th, measuring 531 yards. Slight dogleg left. And we go to the 11th, the third shot of Lisa Hackney. Very nicely done. That from 120 yards. She'll have a short birdie putt and a chance to reach 6 under par for the championship.
A lot of people don't know of her, but she's the leading contender for Rookie of the Year on the LPGA Tour this year. Very good European player. As she says, her boyfriend is her teacher, Martin Hall. You'll see her career highlights. She's had 1 win, the Welsh Open. Said she got most of her experience by playing in the Solheim Cup with Laura Davies.
And next to play will be Kim Williams. Donna Caponi is with this group.
From 82 yards with a sand wedge. Oh, almost hold that ball out. Beautiful play.
Kim's 6 feet tall, Gary. Has a lot of height, doesn't she?
Well, she certainly does, and hits the ball very high, but she's struggling a little bit today at 4 over par in her final round. And we'll go back to the tee. And our leader, Allison Nicholas. Really a double dog leg, bends right to left off the tee and then back to the right as the players get near the green.
Determined look there.
A lot of focus, Johnny. Going down the right side of the fairway. Appears like it'll be fine.
She told me she's worked real hard on keeping her swing plane a lot lower. Her instructor, Lawrence Farmer, said that that's one reason she's playing so well this week.
Well, it was here yesterday that Nancy Lopez made a birdie that kind of sparked her to a good finish. So let's see what she can do at the 11th today.
This tee shot going down the right center. Good shape.
Well, for 2 decades, we've watched her mature into a Hall of Famer, and Nancy Lopez has found that her evolution has occurred in 2 phases of her life, on and off the golf course. In the late 70s, Nancy Lopez burst into golf stardom with unprecedented brilliance. She dominated the LPGA Tour with her talent and charisma. But while her smile never wavered, her commitment to the game would gradually fall prey to the new realities in her life.
Priorities changed a lot after I had Ashley because I found myself not practicing as much because I needed to be with her. Doing things with her instead of practicing, and it was tough because I felt guilty if I was with her and not practicing, and I felt guilty if I was practicing and I wasn't with her, and it it was really tough for me to deal with that.
It would be a tough choice to again fully commit to the dedication she possessed early in her career.
To be able to make up my mind to try and get back into my golf game, and it happened. Playing this year and playing well and being positive again and hitting the ball where I want to hit it and making the putts when I feel like I'm going to make it has been, you know, I have to pat myself on the back a little bit because I really worked hard to get back to where I am right now. And I'm really pleased with that, and it's a great feeling.
Although her smile is ever apparent, her inner disappointments surrounding her near misses at the Women's Open parallel Sam Snead's 4 runner-up finishes in the Men's Open.
I look back and I see that Sam Snead has never won a U.S. Open, and they always ask me the question, you know, will your career not be finished without winning the U.S. Open? You know, just add icing to the cake. And you know, I've won majors and I've won a lot of golf tournaments, and I'd love to win the U.S. Open. But I can't say that when I step away from my career as a professional golfer that I'm going to sit there and say, boy, I wish I would have won a U.S. Open.
The step she takes today could dispel any thoughts of her never realizing her crowning achievement.
To win the U.S. Open at this stage of my career would probably be even greater. To be able to accomplish that after the downtime that I've had for a little while and not really having a chance to win it, but to be able to bring myself back and come back and hopefully win it in 1997.
Well, earlier we mentioned her husband Ray Knight and her 3 daughters watching back in Cincinnati, but maybe her biggest inspiration in the game of golf, her father, Domingo, now in his 80s, certainly watching this telecast as well back in Roswell, New Mexico. And Nancy's talked with him on the phone a few times from here in Pumpkin Ridge, and his biggest words of advice, as he's always said, play happy.
Great advice for anybody, but who would have thought that Nancy Lopez would be 9 under par and trailing by 4 shots to anyone?
That her second shot now at the par 5, just laying up, trying to put the ball in good position. Which I would have thought she might have tried to get a little farther left with this hole location cut on the front right portion of the green. And up at the green, this birdie putt for Lisa Hackney to get to 6 under par. Very nice. She moves into 3rd place.
And at the 13th, second shot, Kari Webb, currently 5 under.
One of the best golf swings in the game by anybody. Good spin. You see that front right hole location, which will be tough with the hole bunker in front.
8 straight pars for her after 2 birdies in a row, and back to the leader Nicklaus at 11.
And her second shot, Roger Maltby again there.
Also laying up of about a 180-yard shot. This with the 7-wood. She's pulled this left, headed toward the gallery.
Well, and it appears that it has gone into the primary rough. And we'll move to 18.
And this is Julie Inkster for par. At one point in the hunt of this championship, had a tough time at 18 yesterday. Double bogeyed it, but shoots a 70 today, and an excellent back 9 for Julie Inkster. It featured 4 birdies to go along with the 2 bogeys, and we're right back.
Welcome back. We're at the looking down at the par 5 11th, measuring 531 yards. And Nancy Lopez preparing to play her 3rd shot.
It's a pitching wedge from 109 yards. We'll have to play across the bunker, front right of the green. She's hit this ball high. Get up a little bit.
Slightly left of the flag, safely on the green, but a good 20+ feet from the hole to 13.
And this is Kari Webb for birdie.
Good stroke.
And rolls that one in. Webb +3 over her first 36 holes here of this championship. Now 9 under in the 31 holes since then. What a charge she's put on. Back at 11.
And our leader, Allison Nicholas, looking at what appears to be a pretty good lie, Roger.
It is a very good lie. Has a good angle to play at this hole. But you'll have to land this ball somewhere near the front edge of the green. May have a little trouble getting it to hold.
Well, the danger is going long. There is a very deep collection area directly behind the flag, just some 4 or 5 yards.
This ball left of the hole.
And long. The green runs away in the back, and that will trickle all the way through into the primary cut of rough. And quickly to 18.
It is the par 5 and 2-time Women's Open champion Patty Sheehan. Her second shot.
494-yard hole. She's giving it a go and losing it to the right, which is actually a good angle and comes out right between the primary and intermediate cuts. Good angle for the hole.
Sheehan 1 under for the championship. Back to 15, Dave.
And Kelly Robbins, 27 years old. 6 iron, 164 yards, and the perfect club. Maybe not perfect, but certainly a wonderful shot. Go to 12.
And Lisa Hackney's second shot. This is very quick.
Oh, double hit.
Yeah, it sure looked it.
No, no doubt about it. That's a heck of a double hit, though. I'll give her credit for that.
Jeez, good turn.
That was a definite double hit.
And she is calling for the official in the group. Make sure they get the correct ruling. We'll take another look at it.
Most people that double hit, the second hit goes way left like T.C. Chen did at Oakland Hills, but watch this. She sort of stubs it and then hits it again. That's a definite double hit, but she kept the club face square. There it is. There's the second one.
And let's talk to David Fay. What is the situation there, David?
Well, you count the stroke and you add another stroke, making 2 in total.
Okay,
and
so
it didn't matter whether it was a double hit or a triple hit or a quadruple hit. It would still be the stroke and 1 penalty shot, and that's Rule 14-4.
There you have it.
What is the record?
And we'll go back over to 11. Allison Nicholas, our leader, eyeing this third shot. And Roger, have you had a chance to look at the lie now?
I have. The lie is not bad, but the angle is terrible, Gary. She's going to have to flirt up into the left fringe on this chip to try to get it close. Once it gets to within about 15 feet of the hole, it'll start to go down very sharply.
Well, if she gets a little too careless and plays it a little too far left, she could chip it down into that collection area. There, Johnny is illustrating right there.
This is quite the shot, isn't it? This was, you know, sort of the first opening that Nancy Lopez has seen in quite a while.
It'll be very interesting what she's able to do here. I look for this ball to end up right of the hole.
Playing it with a lofted club with the sand iron. Oh, that is really well done.
That was very nicely judged. Sand iron, but yet closed it down and hit a low shot. Go to 15.
And Kelly Robbins, after that good 6 iron shot, is to go 6 under for the championship. Oh. Just slides by the left side. 3 under for the day. Let's go back to Gary Koch at the 11th.
Thank you, Dave. Nancy Lopez eyeing a putt for a birdie here at the par 5. And Roger, she made a birdie here yesterday, and that seemed to put a little spark in her. She had a little down turn through the middle of the round. She could certainly use this.
Well, this would be a big putt to hole for her, Gary, because Allison has a very nasty little 3.5 footer.
Nancy has said her improved putting has come by holding her left hand a little bit tighter and keeping her lower body still.
There's that very familiar grip we've seen through the years, index finger down the shaft. This putt back up the hill, not a lot of break.
Kind of decelled. Not a good stroke.
Didn't take it back far enough, did she, Gary?
Well, there wasn't much swing to the stroke, no, Johnny. To 18.
And the third shot of Dottie Pepper from the left rough.
Very difficult angle. It's got that big collection area. I'll tell you, that is a fantastic golf shot. You just don't know how good that is. It's like putting right to, she just says, I can't believe it.
Dottie Pepper trying to finish up with back-to-back birdies at 17 and 18.
And it's the 14th. It's a dangerous hole. Kyrie Webb, 151 yards. Ooh, maybe a little strong, but you really have to pay attention to that water. Let's go back to Gary at 11 again.
And our leader eyeing this tricky putt for a par. Ball will definitely move to her right, and we have seen some players not play enough break from this position.
This is about the most awkward putt a right-hander can face.
Well, that's well done.
Really a good stroke there.
And puts the pressure squarely back on Nancy.
Well, Nancy's putt far simpler than that of Allison Nicholas's. Back uphill with very little break on it.
You just got to be amazed, guys, to watch Allison Nicholas. The shot she's hitting, the little pitch shot at 9, that putt, that up and in there, it's just like, she's just amazing.
They say the championship starts on the back 9, and if Allison was going to fold, it looks like it would have been right there.
Well, she's got some water holes coming up, though.
This putt to keep Lopez within 4. Lopez remains 4 behind our leader, Allison Nicholas. And we'll go to 18.
And Dottie Pepper now lining up a birdie putt. Again, a chance to finish with back-to-back birdies. This would get her 1 under for the championship. She began this final round at +1.
And watch these putts from the right side of the hole. It could determine the championship in a little while. This putt here is very quick, and it moves fast to the left. Easy to miss it low. 3 inches outside right. That's sort of the putt du jour from there.
And the former player of the year will finish with a 70 to 14.
And Kyrie Webb's third shot. Better slow down. A little bit fast going by there. Very aggressive player, wonderful golfer. Go back to 12 and Gary Koch.
Thank you, Dave. We're looking at the shortest par 3 on the golf course. Yardage today, 133 yards. But the water that Johnny Miller mentioned that now starts to come in play, certainly in play here. We have seen some balls, tee shots into the water. Whole location today in the back left portion of this green.
Now, I think 12 and 14, you're going to see this is going to be the real test of whether or not she can handle the pressure.
Well, and John, on the last hole, remember, a pulled second shot and a pulled third shot to the green. So look for this ball to be right. Roger, you have the club?
This is an 8-iron, Gary. Very little wind right now. This ball starts at the center, drawing back a little bit right of the hole.
Oh, a bit unfortunate. It just hopped into the collar. Very similar position to where we saw Lisa Hackney chip from. Well, Roger, a situation now where you feel Nancy Lopez has to go right at the flag.
Has to be aggressive. I believe that completely. Allison Nicholas has shown no signs of having any problems or letting up at all. So I think Nancy's going to have to be aggressive and is going to have to make something happen and apply a little more pressure. 4 shots is just too comfortable a lead, Gary.
Well, this whole location does set up very nicely for her normal shot, which is a slight right to left draw. Anything slightly right of the hole should spin to the left, funnel right down toward it. Roger, you have the club?
This is also an 8-iron. With the hole just cut 5 paces on the front left part of that green. To get the ball close, you must flirt with the water.
She's got to be careful too to leave an opening. If she hits it in the water, then it'd be just clear sailing for Allison. So it's important for her to get it on the green.
This ball going right at it if it's the right distance.
Oh, it is, Roger, right over the top of the flag. And a bit unlucky. It could have actually trickled back a little bit. To 14.
Oh, that's absolutely marvelous playing. And here's the Rookie of the Year from last year. Oh, man. All right. All right, Kari. First player on either tour to win as a rookie $1 million.
At 18, Patty Sheehan for birdie. This for a 68. You talk about waiting to win your first U.S. Open. Patty Sheehan finally won it for the first time after 17 championships. Nancy Lopez trying to break that drought today and win in her 21st. But a nice scene at the 18th by the 2-time champion Sheehan, and we're back in a moment.
Back at the 12th, our leader using a putter from the long fringe. That's got to slow down. All right, not bad. Not bad. Fortunately, she's got it down below the hole, leaving herself an uphill putt for her par. To the 16th.
Second shot, Kelly Robbins. Kelly working on a 3-under round today with 3 birdies and no bogeys. And talk about a great shot at 16. Tough hole, long par 4.
Best shot we've seen on 16 all week.
And back to 12.
And what could potentially be a must-make putt for Nancy Lopez. Touched on it. She needs to get something going. Needs to apply some pressure. Roger, putt downhill and maybe moving to the right.
It'll move to the right about 3 inches, 4 inches off the left side of the hole. Slightly downhill. But I think you're right. We're getting close to must-make situations for Nancy.
Good effort.
That's about 4 of those, Johnny. I mean, really good putts that have just went right across the hole.
Yeah, that could have gone in just as easy as it missed.
She's trying to give it the body English to get it to stay left, but no, not to be.
Very similar to Arnold Palmer, Seve Ballesteros. That's why they have big galleries, I think. The gallery likes to see that stuff. They like to see someone who looks like a sphinx.
Leader with this short putt for her par. Back up the hill. Might move ever so slightly from right to left. Safely in. Allison Nicholas, our leader. 3 birdies, not a single bogey in this final round. Very solid performance. To 18.
Fourth shot, Brandy Burton from the collectionary, and it's given a lot of players problems this week. This a moment ago, you heard a roar.
That's the best shot we've seen out of that heavy collection area all week.
She finished 3rd last year in the U.S. Open, so no stranger to championships.
And it's 17. 27-year-old Italian Stefania Croce continuing to play well.
The 4-iron, good shot, really is. It'll feed off the edge there and trickle down to the center of the green. It's sort of like a little collection in the center of that green.
She comes from a golfing family. Her uncle Alberto plays on the European Senior Tour. Father Angelo is a teaching pro. Her uncle won an event a couple of years ago in '95.
You can see this 13th hole coming out of a chute of trees. You do not want to go right. Of course, there's trees all down the right side. The bunkering is not too much in play, but the left bunker definitely is in play. The first two aren't. And the fairway is about 30 yards wide right on the button. Usually about a drive and 6, 7, 8 iron to the green for these players.
24 straight holes without a bogey for Nicklaus, just 3 in the championship.
Today they might be able to get through with an 8 or 9.
This ball pulled down the left side. See if it carries the fairway bunker. It does not.
I still believe that Nancy, if she can play 1 or 2 under from here on in, she's gonna really have a good shot. I just can't believe that Alison Nicholas can keep this pace up without a little oil starting to leak or puddle somewhere.
Nancy has driven the ball very well this week, just 5 missed fairways.
Last year had an amazing statistic. Annika Sorenstam hit 51 out of 56 fairways, just 5 misses. Nancy's on the same pace. She's missed 5 the whole week.
Lopez, after the bogey at 9, has parred 3 in a row. Nicholas in the bunker off the fairway at 13. Lopez trying to pick up a shot. She's 4 back in this 97 U.S. Women's Open final round. Plenty of great championship moments in this event's history. In 1954, 1 year after she was diagnosed with cancer, Babe Didrikson has captured her 3rd and final U.S. Women's Open. It was one of the most emotional moments in the championship of this history. Now being played for the 52nd time here at Pumpkin Ridge. And down at 17, Stefania Croce, this for birdie, this to get to 6 under.
Good putts. Hang in there, though. It breaks right at the hole. It's very difficult to read that. You'd swear it's straight in, but it goes right.
She'll remain at 5 under and back at 13. That is the ball of Alison Nicholas. Roger had a chance to pick up the lie. Doesn't look too bad.
Has a good lie and is far enough back away from the front lip that should not be a problem. Has 136 yards to the hole. Has a good angle to play at this hole, cut in the front right portion of the green. I would look for a safe play left of the hole, right up into the middle of the green here, John.
I don't know if it's that, I can't tell, but it looked like there was a little bit of sand behind it, but maybe it's just the camera angle coming in low. But you're saying it's a very clean lie, huh?
Yeah, it's a good lie. It shouldn't be a problem.
Alison Nicholas's 2 LPGA wins. She's shown she's a good front runner. 95 Corning, she led by 2, shot 72, won that tournament by 3. And right here in Portland, also the same year, tied for the lead heading into the final round, shot 68 and won by 3, and has been solid today.
And you've noticed she's had to get it up and in on 9, 11, and 12 now. So the scorecard says everything's according to no problem, but if you really look at what's happening, she's closing in on maybe her first bogey. But like Roger said, it's a good clean lie. Play it back in your stance, trap it in there. Underneath the hole to the left is the fall line.
This is 7 iron, going a little bit right of the hole.
What a wonderful golf shot. And she's had 16 wins worldwide, so we can't forget that.
And up at 18, first round leader, Lisa Lott Neumann. Second shot at the par 5 18th.
Go, baby. Run out.
It's a scooter there, and that thing is just chucking along nicely. Look at this ball.
On in 2 for Neumann. She shot a 67 on Thursday before falling way back, and back to 13.
That's a pitching wedge from 109 yards.
Big drive. Need to knock it tight right here, Nancy.
A little bit right of the hole.
She can kick left. Doesn't, though, but it's a good shot.
Well, plenty of keyholes still to negotiate for these contenders, and to take us down the challenging stretch here at Pumpkin Ridge, Johnny Miller.
14th hole at 393 yards. I think one of the great par fours on the golf course. You see the 4 bunkers on the left and the tree. You have to slide it right by there or play a draw shot. Otherwise, you go through the fairway. And you have trouble down at the green. You can see the pond down at the green and the bunker right. And the green does go away into trouble. In the first round, Liselott Neumann, she hits in the left rough. Looks like a tough shot. She plays the coolest little draw shot around the pond right there, rolls up onto the green. And if you can imagine, she makes this putt right here for the 4th birdie of the day, shoots 67, and is the leader with a first round 67. 15th hole, 164 yards. Is a fine par 3, slightly uphill, as you can see. 2 key bunkers that you have to negotiate. See right there to design a little entrance to the right. Today, the whole location is back right. 16th hole, par 4, 405 yards, second hardest hole in the golf course, and you can see why. 5 bunkers you have to negotiate over the semi-blind tee shot. And you hit in this area here, 30 yards wide, long second shot. A lot of players have to hit fairway wood into the green or long iron, and today the whole location is back right. So this is going to be a very difficult par. So difficult even from the fairway yesterday. Nancy Lopez comes over it, hits it into the left bunker, and makes her only bogey on the backside. 17th hole, par 4, 401 yards. You can see the fairway starts about 28 yards wide and keeps necking down to 18 where you get to this pot bunker on the left. So you want to lay it back or hit a drive short of that and go to this long, narrow, skinny green, which is protected by bunkers on the left and the right, as you can see there. You can see if you miss the fairway, you might end up in one of these bunkers and see the off-angle lie you might get from there. So you got to hit the fairway, and it is a birdie hole. And the 18th hole, what can I say? Par 5, 494 yards, one of the great finishing holes in all of golf. Look at the bunkers on the right. They are definitely in play because you're worried about all the stuff that's left, which is nothing but trouble. If you miss the fairway, you have to lay it up right here and go into the green with a fairway wood or long iron. If you do hit the fairway, now you have to negotiate these 2 bunkers up onto the rise here. These 2 trees, only 30 yards wide. You want to hit it into this shaded area right there, and then got a good chance for a birdie. Yesterday, Julie Inkster, 2 fine shots, 50 feet from the hole, going for eagle. She tries to chip it with a 3-wood and just barely doesn't make it, rolls all the way back down to her feet, tries again, same thing happens. She ends up making double bogey 7 on this hole. These final 5 holes really will test the players. Not only do they have great design, but there's a lot of tough features, and you combine that with nerves and a United States Women's Open Championship on the line. Wow, a lot of things could happen. It's going to be fun.
Well, Allison Nicholas just off the mark for her birdie at 13. She needs a 68 today, and she's already 3 under on this par 71 course. A 68 today to set a new Open 4-round score set last year by Annika Sorenstam at 272. So that just puts an even bigger exclamation mark on her week here.
And my respect for Allison Nicholas just keeps going up and up and up. You know, most players would start where she's been the last 4 or 5 holes, could have posted 2 or 3 bogeys, and another fine par save out of the left fairway bunker. And Nancy's going to just say, hey, I guess it's not going to happen. I'm going to have to do it with birdies, not wait around.
Well, Johnny, you noticed at all those holes where Allison missed the green, she missed the ball in the proper place. Even off the tee, if it was miss off the fairway, it was a place where she could manage the ball from. So, good course management.
How about this putt?
This putt should be downhill, move a little bit from right to left. Not a hard putt.
Lopez cuts into the lead by 1. 3 behind Nicholas now as they head to 14. Very difficult hole where anything's possible.
Great par 4, Dave Marr.
It certainly is, John. And she could play a big part in this tournament. You know, it normally for the members plays a par 5, but it really was a weak par 5, and they shortened it up, and it has been a very good decision by the USGA. This, as you can see how the scoring is, second most difficult, and that water in play. If you drive it in the rough, right there on the left side, and short, and of course the whole location today for the first time on that side. Let's go to 18 first.
Well, this is Lisa Lott Neumann for eagle. Long putt. Just resting near the mark of her playing competitor today, Chris Johnson, and back over to 16. Kari Webb with a long birdie attempt. Kay Cockrell with this group, and Kari playing pretty well, Kay.
She sure is, and this hole in particular hit a great drive down the left-hand side. Could not have had a better angle and just mishit her 7-iron a bit. Failed to get it up over that ridge and now has a good 35-40 footer. She is watching the leaderboard very intently, trying to hang on to a third place.
You can see the ridge barely on your screen that runs right in here, and then there's another ridge going this way that falls this way, so it really doesn't do much at the hole. It's just right up the draw. Comes off there, now it'll flatten out. Start flattening out. See how it's flattening out? If she'd have hit that, it would run true right into the hole. She had the perfect line.
Webb without a bogey today. Let's go to the 14th tee, the leaders, Dave.
And Nancy Lopez after the birdie at 13. Her drive at 14. Roger?
It's a 3-wood. Started this ball at the center of the fairway. Very nice.
Should move a little left now. Yes, it's right down the right-hand side.
It's so important to hit this fairway with this tough left hole location. As Dave said, the first time it's been put over there, and makes that lake in the area behind the green really in play.
Well, what needs to happen now? Allison needs to keep her mind on what she needs to do, because she can't do a doggone thing about what Nancy might do. You just make par on every hole from here in, which sounds easy. Now, she's part of this hole 3 straight times. But, and then let's see if Nancy can come get that.
See if these pull shots continue. She's
well, you know, she missed a couple to the right, and I was kind of waiting for the pull to show up. You know how you do, John, under heat. It's a driver, I assume, Roger?
This is a driver.
Pulled it on the last hole.
This tee shot drawing down the left side of the fairway. That's ideal.
Just missed that bunker.
Just looked like she carried you about 5 more feet. That's terrific. That's what happens to you when you win, though. You got to get the breaks going your way. But a huge drive there. Let's go to 16.
And Kari Webb trying to keep her card intact without a bogey. That for par. Nicely done. Webb remains at 6 under. 3 under on a round today. And before Annika Sorenstam ever won the Open, it was Lisa Lott Neumann, also from Sweden, who became the first Swede to win it back in '88. That for birdie at 18, and Lisa Lott Neumann, the first round leader after that 67. 70 in the second, but a 76 in the third, drop back. But a nice way to finish for Neumann. 71 for her, even par for the championship. The legendary Pat Bradley has won 6 major championships, but the crowning achievement of her career, winning the 1981 U.S. Women's Open. Bradley's total of 9 under par is the lowest in the history of the championship. Bradley played in this Women's Open here at Pumpkin Ridge, made the cut, and finished at +4 as you take a look at that lowest score at 9 under, but Allison Nicholas and Nancy Lopez both topping that at 13 under and 10 under for the moment. Out at 17, Robbins for par.
Nice smooth stroke.
Still no bogeys for Kelly Robbins today. 4 under on her round. And back to 14.
And where we await the second shots of the leader and the second place person who will play first, Nancy Lopez and Roger Maltby with this group. Roger, what she got?
Nancy's got 141 to the hole, but her ball has come to rest on a pretty steep downhill lie. Nancy not a high ball hitter to start with, and I think that's going to make this shot even harder to hold. Only about 7 paces of green between the front edge over the water and the hole.
Plus the hazard in back.
She's got this ball up in the air nicely off that lie. Good looking shot.
And good rhythm, yeah. Kept her rhythm. That's okay from that lie. As you say, you really have to get across this water first. Now, Allison Nicholas, and if you were a hunch better today, maybe you might have bet a Nicholas Quinella. I don't know what Jack's doing in the seniors, but we got the new Nicholas is here, Roger.
Allison hit a terrific tee shot here. It has but 103 yards to the hole. Just a wedge, and the further you get it down this fairway off the tee, obviously more advantage to you, being able to loft something and have some spin on it.
That was a big tee shot.
And that was a very great tee shot at that time, Johnny, as you pointed out. You know, a couple of pushes, a couple of pulls, and you know, you get your rhythm lost. And on a hole where you must put it in the fairway, she did the job.
You folks at home might want to know how far she hits it. She said in the press room yesterday afternoon that at one drive yesterday, her caddy told her she hit 268.
Well, that one went 290, so that wasn't too bad. Downhill, though.
We'll take it.
Solid.
Well, right of the hole. Needs to get down. Long.
What happened there, Roger?
Just airmail, John. Just a little pumped up, I think.
This is where you get a little excited.
Uh-oh.
This is...
Where is that ball?
Well, I'm not sure. They're back looking. We've got...
Hazard, huh?
Some people. There is a hazard back there.
Yeah, it's a lateral water hazard. And last year it was the environmentally sensitive area. There's no water in it, so she'll check out the lie, but it's marked as a lateral water hazard.
Well, might have the first drip of Pennzoil. And the Italian, Stefania Croce, again from this chipping area. It's her third shot. Well, we used the term bene yesterday on 18, molte bene here at 18 today. What a shot.
What a smile. Boy, she could light up New York.
Well, we've seen Croce in the JAL Big Apple Classic presented by Golf Magazine in the last couple of years. And next Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, we'll be there again at beautiful Waikagill Country Club. Michelle McGann's had some top 10 finishes there. Caroline Pierce defends. That's the JAL Big Apple Classic next Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And back at 14, Dave.
Thank you very much. They're pointing now. I don't know whether they can see the ball or not. Maybe they can. And there's enough rules people here to handle this, I'm sure.
David, if they can see it, it's not going to make much difference because it can't be hit from back here.
Yeah.
David Fay, you're not allowed to move anything to find that ball. You're just allowed to just go in there and hack away at any ball that you see, but you can't identify your ball.
That's right. There's no penalty if you happen to hit the wrong ball out, but you better check it after you get it out of the hazard.
That's exactly right, Dave.
That's a rule. It's broken quite often, isn't it, David?
Well, people don't know it, do they? I mean, that's the thing about the rules. They don't understand them.
That's right.
You must get how many letters? You almost really, you ought to print a book of some of the letters you got.
Well, she's going to take the 2 club length option under the lateral water hazard rule, dropping it no closer to the hole.
Well, in reality, she has a 2-shot lead now and a tougher chip than Nancy Lopez.
As you can see, you have a number of options under the lateral water hazard, but she's going to take the 2 club length option and drop it no closer to the hole. And the ball has to strike the ground within those 2 club lengths.
Well, her concern now is, David, that where she drops this ball, the tall reeds from this area behind the green may interfere with her backswing.
Yeah.
So that is her real concern at the moment.
And the rules don't give her any benefit there. Because unlike, let's say, Roger, an obstruction or ground under, where when you take relief, you have to take complete relief. In this case, it's the lie of the ball. If the lie of the ball, if the ball is outside the hazard, then the ball is in play. She may well have to stand in it.
That's okay. It's just a regular lateral water hazard.
I believe they were trying to determine if that ball were closer to the hole than where it last crossed the margin of the hazard, but they've deemed it is not so.
How tough is this shot, guys?
It's plenty tough. It's not a very good lie. It's sitting down. The grass, although the reeds from this particular position and behind her will not interfere with her swing, but the grass is taller immediately behind her ball. Bit of a concern. She has to keep the ball in the air some 35 feet. From there, the green will run away from her slightly, and she only has about 18 feet of green to work with or less. So not an easy shot at all with water on the other side as well.
It's hard to believe after a 290-yard drive that you'd hit it that far over the green.
You can see what she's got. If she hits it too strong, she'd easily put it in the lake that she was trying to avoid on her second shot. And this would test her nerves, man. Sometimes you get a shot you don't want to play, Roger. You know,
I would prefer not to have to play this one.
Yeah. It's Kendra Graham, rules official, expert. Wonderful with the rules of golf. Knows how to explain them so I can understand them.
You know, a little bit in defense of that iron shot she hit, Dave, the players in the locker room earlier this week have said it's so tough to get the right club in your hand on 14 because it's so much downhill. But again, you're looking at the water if you hit it short.
Oh, this will be long.
Well, it's not going to go in the water, but she still has a work to be completed as she is 4 at the moment. Not on the green yet. We'll go forward to 15, the par 3. Lisa Hackney. This for her birdie, 5 under. Even for today. Down the hill. Moving right and moving very right for her to go to 6 under. 1 under on a round today and 6 under for the championship. Move into a tie with Kelly Robbins and Kari Webb.
This for par. Stefania Croce missing her birdie putt, but still a final round 67. Also shot a 69 on Friday, and she finishes 5 under for the championship. Back to 14.
Yeah, Lopez has had a long time to look at this. A lot of things got to be going through her mind.
David, in reality, she is only 1 behind right now if they both 2-putt.
Yeah. And all of a sudden the game is on.
This putt shouldn't do much from this angle. May try to go a little right, but not a lot.
Basically a very level green, as you point out, Raj, from back to front. Move just a little right. Got a very nice lag down the hill. And certain 4. So at the worst, going to pick up 1 stroke. Chooses to go ahead and finish, which I think you should do for a number of reasons. I mean, it's not going to get any shorter, number 1. And you've got your 4.
Allison's rolled up against that collar, hasn't she?
Yeah, look like it. This would be pretty slow, too, putting up the hill now. It's a pretty good shot she played from over there, and she played it pretty fast, too. She didn't want to think about that too much.
A lot of players would blade this with a sand wedge. I guess she's just going to blade it with the putter, which can make it come up even more short.
Well, I tell you what, John, give me that putter under this much heat. All right, and try to blade that sand wedge on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yep. Popped.
Yep. And usually that kills the speed. Well, when you have it like that, you sort of hit down on it.
Sitting in a hole.
Yeah, sitting in a hole. Well, the ball tends to run down in the hole. They don't jump up on good lies. So, still a little work here, and they all become work now simply because you played so well finally after it's been since the 6th hole yesterday. Now, Nancy has got to calm down, I think. Think about what she needs to do from here in.
You saw her coughing there. She's had allergies all week, pretty serious allergies. She's been worried that she's been bothering her player, the people she's been playing with, because she's coughing all the time.
And plus she's beating them. That'll make them start coughing. Anyhow, this for a double bogey 6 and a one-shot lead.
Hold on, Ollie.
Well, good solid 6 after that. It's just too bad you got a little aggressive with that second shot. So now the game is really on, Roger. Let's look down at that second shot of Alan Nicholas's again. Look from the overhead. Now it's 103 yards. She has a wedge. I'm sure she's thinking, now just put it, good solid swing on it, but you carried it all the way over the green. She must have hit it 115 or 20 yards. Way too hard under the excitement, I think. Let's go forward to 18.
Okay, Dave, third shot on the par 5 for Kelly Robbins.
Good angle to come into this left hole location. She could feed it off the center of the green and let it trickle right down in there for a nice little
chance for a birdie to get to 7 under. And to the 15th tee.
This hole today playing 164 yards. Hole location back right. And they've been using 6 irons, 5 irons. Perfect day for golf too, Roger. It was very little breeze all week. I thought it might be a little windier than that here.
Well, it's been a little fickle. It seems to change direction. You play 2 holes going in opposite directions, and it feels like you're into the wind both holes at times. So a little bit awkward to get the right club all the time. This is a 5 iron for Nancy. I think the hole in just about the easiest location on this green. The rear right.
Well, that's what I would want. I would want the honor to hit the best shot I could hit and keep the pressure on.
Kick left.
This shot going a little bit right. Going to need a kick.
Well, it'll get one usually there, and it didn't. I've seen a number of the balls hit the right fringe there today and get a hard left kick.
Well, that'll be an extremely quick chip shot from there now.
Whoa, like you're chipping on linoleum.
And she does not have a lob wedge.
Now, Allison, you couldn't see this graphic. She said a 3 and 2 2s here. So this hole's been very good to her. Sometimes you get one you really feel like you can play, Raj.
Yeah, she's played so well today, and you know, this is such a hard game, David. I mean, she really didn't make a bad swing. She just overamped and hit it too hard, and bingo. Next thing you know, you make a 6.
Yeah. Yep. Championship leader by 1 at 11 under.
This is a 4 iron.
4 iron.
Seems like a lot of club.
Yeah.
This ball well left of the hole at the center of the green.
Well, it was the right club for her, though. Okay, will it be Nicklaus or Lopez? Stick around and we'll find out shortly. Welcome back to the 52nd U.S. Women's Open. Nancy Lopez's second shot out of the rough. Roger Maltby's had a look at this live. Roger, what are her problems?
Well, this is a very severely downhill sloped chip shot, and she does not have much work with, only about 15 feet of green, maybe a little bit more than that. But I think if she lands it onto the fringe, it will get on by. She's going to have to land in the intermediate cut of rough and hope it'll kill it.
Well, as you pointed out, it is some 15 feet from the right, so straight downhill. There wasn't much chance because the downhill that takes the loft off the club. It's going to make it run. She just misses getting into that first cut of the rough. Let's go to 18 and Johnny and Dan.
Okay, Dave, and quite a buzz just here moments ago as they posted the score at 14. And the electricity all over the course now as the crowd now knows that Nancy trails Allison by a single shot.
That's a pretty strong reaction. That's Arnold Palmer reaction.
All right, so Lopez is 2, on the green. Also on the green, Allison Nicholas, after that good shot in there. Now, Roger, you've had a chance to look at this putt she has?
Well, she's got it going back up a hill a little bit, David, and should go a little bit to her right, but not a lot from the side of the green. Probably just off the hole on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's the way it's been moving. It does, when it loses its speed, it should die a little to the right. And what she needs to do, not count on Nancy missing her putt. You know, go ahead and give yourself a chance here. You can be a little aggressive. You're putting up the hill. It's a little high. Very little, but nevertheless, for her speed has been good through this tournament. Let's go to 18 again.
This is a birdie try for Kelly Robbins in a round of 66.
Right edge putt. Slams it.
And Kelly, who set the LPGA scoring record for 72 holes last week, all alone in third place at 7 under. She came in just as big a favorite as Annika Sorenstam did. Back to 15.
And a very big putt. The things that may be going through her mind, she's got maybe a little read off of Allison's putt. Do you think, Roger?
Well, a little bit different angle, David, but if she's looking for a break, it's not here. This is just about dead straight in. And should she hold this, this would be very much like making a birdie.
Well, hopefully her caddy watched the little pitch shot roll by as it went by the edge and noticed it didn't do much.
Well, the player should do that also, and that's a good point for your people at home. It should be inside left and firm. Did you hit it? Did you hit it? Oh.
Way to go, man.
Big putt there. So, drops to 2 behind the championship leader, Allison Nicholas, with 3 to play. 2 strong par 4s and dynamite-laden 18th hole. You might make anything at 18.
You're right, Dave. Anything can happen. The WNBA on NBC continues next Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. A rematch of the very first game in WNBA history when LA meets New York. And looking to avenge a loss in that first game, Lisa Leslie leads the LA Sparks against Rebecca Lobo and the first place New York Liberty. That's the WNBA, moving to 4 o'clock Eastern Time next Saturday on NBC. Here is the par 4 16th, 405 yards, and one of the most difficult holes all championship week long. Allison Nicholas now with a lead of 2.
On the last 3 holes this week, Allison Nicholas 1 under for those 3 tough holes. Nancy Lopez -4. If she does that, she wins the United States Women's Open. But it's going to be tough. Tiger was 2 down with 3 to go against Steve Scott, so it could be done. Good looking golf swing, good balance.
Right down the middle, Johnny.
Very good sound, aggressive swing, not just hoping it would go in the fairway.
Well, Nancy Lopez has played these last 3 holes very well. Remember the birdie, birdie, birdie finish in the second round. As you look at how they played the final 3 holes all week long.
Fairway's drying out, as you could see. Allison's ball must have rolled 45 yards. So this hole that was playing really driver and long iron or even fairway wood is now probably picked up, taken off about 2 or 3 clubs. I would imagine Nancy will have to go into this green with a 4 or 5 iron, though. That's that tough of a hole. What's the wind doing, Roger?
Well, what there is from the right, but there's really very little wind right now, John. Still and quiet out here. Low going down the left center of the fairway. That should run.
Nancy Lopez trailed by 4 at the turn. She now trails by 2 with 3 to play.
You are watching the U.S. Women's Open on NBC Sports.
And we bring you back to the scenic Pacific Northwest, the snow-capped mountain of Mount Hood. And back into the rolling farmland of Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club, where Nancy Lopez, the Hall of Famer with 48 career wins, began this final round of the championship, 3 back of Allison Nicholas, who is looking for her first major championship. The lead is now 2 by Allison Nicholas. It was at one time 4 shots at the turn, but Nancy Lopez birdied the 13th. Nicholas double bogeyed the 14th. Lopez did drop a shot back at the 15th by bogeying that. She is 2 down with 3 to play, and it does sound like a match play term. And in fact, it was Tiger Woods last August who was 2 down with 3 to play on this very same Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club course, who came back to beat Steve Scott in a dramatic U.S. Amateur. But it has turned into match play between Allison Nicholas, just 5 feet tall from England, against the Hall of Famer Lopez.
And a very difficult hole location, 27 yards back, only 21 feet from the right edge. That bunker that you see just left your screen now is definitely in play. Roger, it sets up for a high fade, but anything on the green here would be nice, especially if it's pin high.
Well, that's from 188 yards. It's a 3-iron, Johnny, and she will have to work this left to right to get it close. She is cutting this ball. It's a good-looking shot.
Boy, that is a great golf shot.
That is a great shot, John.
That is the best shot she's hit in the championship, no doubt about it. Right there.
Lopez within birdie range at 16.
Wow. There's the heart of a champion right there. Someone who might have won 48 times.
Allison Nicholas is showing the heart of a champion all day long. 1 under on her round today. Not only shooting for the Open Championship, but an all-time scoring record.
Wow, a lot of thoughts going through her mind. That puts the pressure on. You can see her trying to regroup, capture the magic. She's got to decide now. It's a lot of strategy here, Roger. Do you say, okay, let's ignore her? She's been talking about fairways and greens all week long. Fairways and green, if you're in trouble, get it back on the fairway. So I'm not so sure she'll be going at this hole location.
Well, she's got a bit of a hanging lie, John. The ball is on a downhill slope, has 161 yards to the hole. This is a 6-iron, and I would think the center of the green would be her target.
Probably like aiming 12, 15 feet left of the hole.
This shot starts at the center of the green. It's a pretty good-looking shot.
Again, maybe a little bit of adrenaline going on. She's a little unlucky, hung up on the very collar of the green. Very good swing, though.
Well, every time, maybe aside from that, Allison Nicholas has answered Nancy Lopez's best efforts all day. Remember earlier on the front 9 today when Nancy Lopez hit her 3rd shot stiff? This was the 3rd shot of Allison Nicholas on the par 5 4th, and that is what happened. Eagled it to get to 13 under. Nancy made her birdie, but the lead stayed at 3, and that has been the case for Allison Nicholas most of the day today, responding to the greatness of Nancy Lopez, and again, all the adoring gallery and the cheers that she's heard as well.
Yep, she's hung in there tight. It's been a great performance by both of them. Whoever wins this or loses it can't, obviously the loser can't feel too bad. Nancy Lopez with her great record without a U.S. Women's Open Championship, like nothing better, especially at this point in her career. The rededication, commitment to exercise, diet, pointing towards the majors, all the things she needed to do to turn her career around and still be a good mother and a good wife. Wonderful balancing act she's putting on.
Well, let's go to the par 5 18th, and this is Kari Webb, her 4th shot.
Actually, 3rd shot. Important for her to hit it up here close, get a birdie. If she can birdie it, she tied for 3rd with Kelly Robbins.
Well, she's put her 3rd shot right where so many other players have put it, but it's very hard to read that putt. It breaks about an inch more than the players know.
And back to 16. Allison Nicholas, her 3rd at the par 4. And Roger, what's this look like?
Well, this is going to be a quick putt downhill. Going to elect to putt this ball from just out of the long fringe intermediate cut, just into the intermediate cut. This ball will move a little bit to her right.
Is it pretty good speed, right?
It is a quick putt from back here. You just got to hope to two-putt, really, John. If it falls in, what a bonus that would be. But you just got to, you can't assume that Nancy is going to make her putt and do anything foolish like run this ball 3 or 4 or 5 feet by and make bogey. That would really let Nancy back into it.
Well, Nancy, of course, made a little hiccup on the last hole. If you just tuned in, was within a shot and then hit it right at 15. Didn't get it up and in, so lost a shot 2 behind. Nancy Lopez 9 under. Alison Nicholas 11 under, as you can see there. So still pretty much a 2-person tournament at this point, unless the wheels fall off big time in this final group. Sort of coasted down there, and the option to drop on the front lip. Roger, I did some putting here last night, and I put down, unfortunately, sort of a trick putt. This putt here, it looks like. What are you seeing? Just out of curiosity.
I think it'll move a little bit right, but not a lot.
What I found out, if the ball is about a foot closer, more on where she is right now, it looks like it would go right, and it does not. So we'll see if she can read it correctly. Not a lot of break. See how the slope is from to the right, but down at the hole it flattens right out.
And the lead is back to 1. Two holes left.
Just birdied the second hardest hole on the course with a very difficult hole location.
And this was the reaction of Alison watching it. She knows the heat's on now.
Any win in the U.S. Open should never come easy.
I don't know how the folks at home are feeling, but my hands are dripping sweat.
Great stuff.
And Nicholas now 1 up, 2 to play. She's only 5 years younger than Nancy Lopez. She's 35 years old, but she took up the game of golf at such a young age. Nicholas has always really looked up to Lopez as one of her idols.
Well, you know, when I was 17, I started the game then, and then one of the lady captains gave me a book, which is a Nancy Lopez book, and I played with her. I played with her several times, and I always remember that. And to actually think that one day that I'd actually play with her is remarkable. I mean, it's terrific. And I remember relaying the story to her at the Tournament of Champions, and she's a great lady, and we just had a bit of a laugh about it. And I think that it'll be a sheer pleasure to play with her. She's a tremendous golfer and a legend in the game, and has done enormous things for women's golf.
And also helping her back in 1990, it was at the Solheim Cup. Alison Nicholas had just played her rookie season. It was very tough, and she mentioned earlier this week that Nancy Lopez convinced her to give it a try, give it a second chance, and since then she's come up with 2 wins on the LPGA Tour. So Nancy Lopez, not only adored by all her fans around the world, her fellow golfers look up to her in the same kind of light.
We've talked about how great Nancy Lopez plays these last 3 holes. She's played out of these 10 chances on these last 3 holes. She's 5 under par. Amazing stat right there. If she continue this last 3-hole magic, she'll have a good shot at getting in a playoff, maybe winning it outright. But Alison is playing great golf. Can't take anything away from her.
Breeze now picking up back into the player's face, John.
Yep, want to hit it down there. Is this a driver?
This is a driver. Pulled it and hooked the ball. That'll be problems in the left rough with trees in her way between her and the green.
Man, that is not a good spot at all.
Worst drive I've seen her hit in 4 days.
Well, you might have heard the roar just a moment ago, posting the scores at 16. And the gallery here surrounding 18 just has one more hole to wait before they arrive here.
Well, Nancy did not want to miss it left. The way the tree canopy is left, you can miss it right in the bunkers and still have a shot, but she knows it. You can tell that wince, like, oh man, not now. Not when I got a shot at my first open.
Right down the center of the fairway. Really solid.
Allison Nicholas down the middle of the fairway at 17. But the Lopez birdie at 16 has made it a one-shot difference as they play the final two here at Pumpkin Ridge. Well, the leaders Allison Nicholas and Nancy Lopez playing that hole down there, the par 4 17th, and capturing the shot from high above Pumpkin Ridge. As always, the MetLife blimp, Snoopy 2, enjoying a picture-perfect day here, just about a half-hour's drive west of downtown Portland, and that is the lie of Nancy Lopez outside the fairway at 17. Roger?
Well, the net lie is not particularly bad, but the problem is the trees in front of her, some 35 yards. She has 199 to the hole. I think in a normal circumstance, John, you'd probably just try to wedge this ball down the fairway, but during, under these circumstances, she may take a risky shot and try to hook something down the fairway further, but that would be very risky.
Of course, you can see where her ball is right there, and then she has got to, there's these tree limbs here, she's got to negotiate some sort of shot. She does have an opening, as you can see. If she could play a draw, she could get it right on that line that I just drew. So there is a chance, the way the hole's configured, it does set up for a draw. I think she can pull it off, Roger.
Well, I'm not going to say she can't, but this is...
How big of a draw would it take?
She's going to have to hook this ball a good 20 yards, John.
Oh, so it's that much?
I think so.
It's funny, the aerial doesn't appear that it's that much of a needed hook, but you're right, I'm sure, being right there. And it's not hard to, not easy to do out of a sort of a jumper lie like this. A lot of times if you try to hook it, you can pull hook it right into those trees, and then of course a lot of times you aim right and try to get it there and it doesn't hook, and then you get long right. And the ball pretty far forward for a hook.
This ball not hooking.
Hits the lip of the bunker and rolls back down on the flat, which is really not a terrible spot. She can put some good spin on it from there, but it's not easy either.
Allison Nicholas now has 165 yards to the hole.
51.
Absolutely ideal position.
Well, she's got to feel pretty fortunate right now, doesn't she, after that birdie by Nancy, to have Nancy do what she's done so far on this hole.
Well, every time Nancy's put the pressure on today, she's come right back, each and every time.
See the pin placement there.
This ball going a little left.
Doesn't like it at all. Man, Roger, she just got the, I guess it reminds me a lot of Tom Weiskopf, how he used to, down the stretch, just get the adrenal glands going, and all of a sudden irons are going 20 yards longer than normal. That's what's happening to her.
No one, man or woman, has ever finished an Open in double-digit under par. Both Nancy Lopez and Allison Nicholas, both double-digit under par. Nicholas at 11 under, Lopez at 10 under. That is the kind of quality golf we've seen today in a pressure-packed Open Championship. And of course, Nancy Lopez, 3 runner-up finishes in the past, 1 as an amateur, and that's how she began her final round. 3 back, shot 75 in 1975, and then 2 back in 77. 4 back to begin the final round in 89 before Betsy King won the first of her 2 the U.S. Women's Open Championships.
And really, Allison on 14 with her 280-yard drive, making an unforced double bogey error, and then now on 17 had a chance to really sort of close out the championship. It was a birdie opportunity to knock it stiff in that little funnel back pin placement, and she really is giving an opening to Nancy. It should have been a par birdie situation. Now she's got a, you know, Nancy's got a longer shot, but Roger, that was a great opportunity for Allison.
Oh, she could have really put the heat on if she'd have got that ball on the green, certainly anywhere near the hole. But now Nancy has 70 yards, Johnny, and this is a very awkward distance from a bunker.
But I think a good break. It was up over that lip there with an unbelievable side hill lie, and at least it rolled down where she has a pretty solid lie, doesn't she?
It's a good lie. Ball's a little bit above her feet, but you're right. If the ball had stayed up above the bunker, she would have had a ridiculous stance. But this, not an easy shot at all.
I like sand shots to the balls above your feet. You're less apt to hit them heavy. The toe catches the sand.
Oh, this is a good shot right here if it spins.
Come on, back.
What a shot. What a shot.
Great shot. Fans are getting their money's worth, Roger.
What a show they put on today, Jimmy.
What a big gallery.
And what a crowd it's been. It's a record gallery. More than 30,000 attending today's final round. 31,000. Better than 127,000 for the championship. A record shattering last year's mark.
And the gallery at 18 is huge. Already ready to see the final group come up.
Let's bring in David Fay for an explanation of this ruling. David?
Well, it's a grandstand, it's temporary, and the relief is more generous than a typical obstruction. She has, even though it doesn't appear to be this way from the picture, she has intervention. So what she has to do is determine her nearest point, no nearer the hole, and then once she establishes that nearest point, she drops more than 1 club length, less than 2. And that last note, relief options may include a ball drop. On this particular hole, there are no ball drops.
She has to take complete relief, right?
Yes. And for temporary immovable, the intervention relief means if your ball is within 1 club length of the TIO, and that's why once she determines her nearest point of relief, she drops more than 1, less than 2.
TIO is temporary immovable obstruction for you, those of you that blew right by you with that.
Well, Johnny, the interesting thing about this next shot is that this hole is located in the middle of a valley back here. The green's sloped in toward the center from both sides. And really about the easiest way to get it close would be to chip it clear across the green, almost into the other fringe, or maybe even into the other fringe slightly, and it'll roll back to within about 3 feet of the hole. But as it is now, if she tries to pitch it and land it into the tallish fringe or the intermediate cut to kill it and trickle it down the hill, that's a lot riskier shot.
So you say the ideal with the wedge she has in this lie, the ideal landing spot would be where? Just right in the collar?
Right in the collar, in the intermediate cut, yes.
And then it trickled down.
Just need a bit of space.
But should she hit it too hard or whatever, it could go up into the other fringe or near the other fringe and turn around and roll right back down to within 3 or 4 feet of the hole. We were out here this morning looking at this and imagined that this could be a possibility, and it worked when we were out here earlier.
You know, Roger, talking about the fans here, Nancy being as gracious as she is, she said everyone's pulling for me because I've had 3 Portland wins. Not that she's just probably the kindest athlete of all time, but also Allison won in Portland.
Allison doesn't like that it's within a few inches, but the bottom line, a few inches is enough. Isn't that right, David Fay?
That's right, Johnny. It's that few inches, and Kendra is right there, and she's working her through the procedure.
It is.
She probably doesn't like the second shot, is what she doesn't like.
Third, especially.
Yeah, this one coming up.
Well, a lot of players might fudge there a little and take it back a little wider when it's that disconcerting, but you're really not supposed to do that. You're supposed to take the normal swing you take to execute the shot. If it does not hit the stand, even if it was an inch from you, You're just supposed to play it. You got clear relief now.
Yeah, you can't take.
Yeah, you can see this bowl. It's literally the green. The green does funnel this way, and it funnels this way, and there's a collection area that goes out of the green like that. So it's not easy to, like Roger said, it's going away from you here. It's easy to knock it. What do you say, Roger? About 6 feet by?
6, 7 feet by. Very simple shot. Not a problem. Getting it closer than that, a lot of work.
She just doesn't like that stand there. I don't blame her. It's only the most important shot of her life.
She's going to ask the gallery, which has a bird's eye view on the steps behind, to move.
And she knows that the gallery's not necessarily against her, but it isn't exactly friendly fire back there.
Well, this is definitely like trying to win on the road, John.
Yep, that's true.
Okay, ma'am, that's fine. Thank you.
And the third shot to this par 4.
I don't want to try to fluff it too much. You could leave it short of the green if she tries to open the face too much.
Oh no, that's got to go. No.
That's just what she did. I was afraid she was going to try to play sort of a hero shot instead of taking the 6-footer and getting out of dodge and make the putt. Try to hit the super shot. Watch this coming down. She flips her hands a little earlier and it sticks on her. Did you see how the club almost stopped at impact? Watch this, right at impact. She must have hit a clump of grass because the club just stopped on her. And that, now we have a situation where it's even Steven.
Both lie 3.
Actually, advantage Lopez.
And
I
it
guess
is
he has a very makeable putt.
On the green.
Well, she'll be chipping on, and of course that'll be her 4th shot. Lopez is on 3, and she was 1 behind. So what I'm saying is once she chips this on the green, technically she's going to try to putt it. Not a bad play from there, I guess, huh, Roger?
Well, I would think you'd have a better chance to hole it, Johnny, by chipping the ball. She's going to run this through a foot or more of intermediate rough. And I think it's pretty hard to get the ball to stay on line. There's very little break on this green from hole high.
Very little break. Might do something the first 4 feet, though, coming out of that fringe. Shot left on her. Now it'll flatten out. That was sort of a bit of a yucky stroke.
So that left for a bogey 5 for Nicklaus. And Nancy Lopez looking over her par putt. Roger had a chance to read this one.
This putt will move just a little bit to Nancy's left, maybe about right edge, just off the right edge. That's about all. There's just not a lot of break in the center part of this green in the rear. What a 4 this would be.
This putt is a very difficult putt to read, Roger. It looks like it's straight, and like you said, it actually breaks towards this big hill that's over here. You can't believe it does, but it goes left. So, I mean, for her to make this, I don't know if she knows this break. If she plays it straight, she will miss it left. And it looks straight. Looks like she's aiming right, Roger. That's good.
Come on, come on, come on.
Didn't hit it. Pretty tentative there, John.
Oh man, the nerves are going just flying right now. Both players, Roger. You'd have to be there, folks, to try this out for size.
Bogey 5 for Lopez at 17, drops to 9 under.
You can see her eyes on the putt. She's looking immediately, and she's going, oh, I could feel I didn't hit it, didn't compress. Oh, the last thing as a player you want to do is leave it short.
And she fights for another breath there.
She says, I can't believe I left it short.
Now Alison Nicklaus for her bogey 5, and
Tell you what, there's no gimme right here. The last stroke I saw looked like the nerves are sort of just too much going on inside. See if she can put a good stroke on it.
Solid. And the lead remains 1 for Allison Nicholas. Began the day with a 3-shot lead. They both card bogeys at 17. And as they head to the par 5 18th, the huge gallery surrounding the green here up ahead finally gets a chance to look at for real this duel that has been staged since early this afternoon, and now they're clapping in unison around the 18th green as the only 2 on the golf course left, Lopez and Nicholas, fight it out for the most prestigious championship in women's golf.
Look at, they're posting them up, they're waiting for it. They're going to see a change. They'll go crazy on the first change. They're going to put that top change first, probably to 10. Nope, they're going to go the other way. They missed out on the drama. Oh, but then they're seeing, well, it's a double drop. So they both bogeyed the hole.
So here they are at the par 5, Johnny.
Well, look at this visual intimidation. Let's look from above. This hole, visually, if you had something on the line, you just cannot get. And here's where they're teeing off right here. You have all this expanse. This is all dead right here. If you basically hit it anywhere here, you got to re-tee or drop it around the front of the tee. What happens is a lot of players will try to be brave and they'll hit these right bunkers. There's those 3 first bunkers are the ones in play. The good news is the fairway is the widest almost on the golf course, 39 yards wide, even though it feels like you're hitting it through the eye of a needle. You want to aim at the last of those bunkers on the right, not the one way left, but by the end of that tent right there if you can, and turn it right to left, and you got a shot at getting on the green in 2. That's the drive she wanted. A good hop on a little downslope. Not the greatest angle to this green, but that's a long drive and that's reachable. So we're going to see all kinds of strategy here if both of them hit a good tee shot, but that puts the pressure squarely on Allison, who might miss it right with the pressure. It'd be interesting to see if she can fire that right side with this much pressure. Not taking a lot of time. Didn't even hardly sole the face. You see that fall through? That's a hook fall through like a Chichi Rodriguez Gary player, and it's a very good way to hit it. Look at that.
Couldn't ask for much more drama here at Pumpkin Ridge. Final hole, the 72nd of the 52nd edition of the U.S. Women's Open. Nicholas by 1. Record crowds here at Pumpkin Ridge watching a dramatic U.S. Women's Open. The swing of Nicholas at 18, Johnny.
Look at where the club was sold, 4 or 5 inches off the ground. Look at the coil. Look at this tremendous left side. Watch the leg action, drive. Watch an impact. Both feet almost off the ground, and the drive up through and that high right shoulder finish for a draw.
Second shot now to the par 5, Roger.
Got 233 to the front. Got a fairway wood here. Looks to be a 3-wood.
She's going to see if she can do it.
She's hit this ball high, but in the fairway, John.
Boy, that's a good play, isn't it, Roger?
It is a good play.
It forces Nancy, I believe, to go for the green.
Solheim Cup atmosphere here alongside the green at 18. You saw Laura Davies, and there's Annika Sorenstam.
I think she, as much as is possible, is enjoying this tremendous action. You know, she feels like she probably should have been there, obviously.
Now Nancy's second.
Okay.
232 to the front, 252 to the hole. It's a 3-wood, John.
She could do it. Is the ball above her feet?
Ball's a little bit above her feet, which would tend to make her draw. But if she can get something low that hits hot, she could chase it onto the front part of the screen, I believe.
This is exciting. Ooh. How's it look?
Going up the right side, flirting with the trees. Misses the trees.
Not bad. It's actually in the very light rough, which is a nice lie. Very good lie.
On the first cut as we wind down this dramatic Open. What a scene at Pumpkin Ridge. Nancy Lopez trying to win her first Open Championship in her 21st try. They both lie 2 in the par 5. And Allison to play first, Roger.
64 yards to the hole. Couldn't be any better, John. Just going right up the green at it.
It's one of those interpretive shots, so hard to play under pressure. She's having trouble with the adrenaline. Looks pretty good, Roger.
She's got this well right of the hole, John.
It's a good shot, though, right where you think you should hit it, especially with a 1-shot lead.
Nicklaus birdied the hole yesterday. Her fellow countrywoman, Laura Davies, cheering her on. She's played in plenty of pressure-packed Solheim Cup matches with her, but Allison all alone. And now, listen to the crowd.
Never heard anything like it in women's golf. Never been a more exciting moment in history.
That reception is nice, Johnny, but that just makes it all the harder.
Yeah, it's almost like a circus atmosphere right here, but they'll quiet down. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised to see her knock it in the hole.
Nancy still managed to smile as the crowd is now ringed in behind the fairway at 18.
This shot, Roger, is a perfect lie. It's a lot easier lie, I think, than Allison's lie. It's in the intermediate rough. The green is a bit of a bowl where if you hit it short, it'll run up to the hole, and if you hit it a little farther, it hits more on the flat. So she's got the shot.
Got 20 paces of green to work with. It will move to her left when it gets up on the green. But you're right, John. This is the kind of shot you expect to get close.
Perfect angle. It moves a little left once it gets on the ground.
Turned over on her. Took one hop and jumped right over, John.
We've seen a lot of people make that putt she has. It's fast, but it's very makeable.
The last time a player birdied the final hole to force a playoff, 1992 at Oakmont, Patty Sheehan birdied the last 2 holes to tie Julie Inkster, went on to win the playoff, an 18-holer on Monday. And assuming that Nicklaus is able to get it down in 2, Lopez will have to birdie at 18.
I think the USGA made a wonderful hole location placement here for Sunday. They told me they didn't want to pick their hardest pin placement or hole location for this very fact, what's happening right now.
It's a very good hole placement because this putt right here, once it starts turning left, this was the same putt that we saw in the Woods-Scott match. And if she tries to make this putt to win it, once it turns left, it just chucks on down the hill to the left, and it could be about a 4-footer coming back. So I would see her under-reading this by accident. It breaks more than it looks, and I could see her sort of cozying up there underneath the hole to the left. But it'll move left. It'll move left 6 to 8 inches if she hits it easily.
This is a birdie to win the championship. Well, a safe lag all the way, putting the pressure right on Nancy Lopez. Force her to make birdie to force a playoff.
Roger, Nancy's got a putt, just moves just a little to the right, I think. Is that what it looks like from there?
As it loses speed, John, it will move to the right. Got to get this ball off the hole on the left side. But speed isn't a problem. You just get it going down this hill and it'll track.
Of course, came up short on the last hole, but you won't have that trouble here. Now it's just a case of trusting your stroke and hopefully reading it correctly. It would be easy to play this straight, but it does move a little right.
Again, husband Ray Knight back in Cincinnati with her 3 daughters, Ashley, Aaron, and Tori, watching, and Father Domingo in his 80s back in Roswell, New Mexico, hoping for a birdie from Mom.
Unfortunately, she did just what I did last night when I tried that putt. I thought it was straight in, and it breaks right about 3 inches, 2 or 3 inches, and you just can't see it. And she hit a very bold, aggressive putt right at it, and it moved right. She hits it. I know she hit it where she was aiming. She hit a good putt, and it moves right, and she knows it.
And the reaction from Allison Nicholas.
Oh man, I know she thought Nancy was going to drain it too.
So this for par for Nancy Lopez. Finish at 9 under, 2 under on her round today.
Just a straight in putt.
And how about that? 4 rounds in the 60s for Lopez.
Pretty hard to believe, first time ever, and end up with the runner-up probably. 1-foot putt. I don't know why she's plumb bobbing it, but it's all right.
And Allison Nicholas is the second Brit to win the U.S. Women's Open.
That's a great moment. I tell you what a battle. Best I've ever seen right there. Oh, that's a tough one for Nancy, though. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Both in tears as they hug. At 18, Allison Nicholas. Just the 7th non-American to win the championship, in tears of emotion from Nancy Lopez. What a day.
That is just so unlucky, though, for Nancy to shoot 69, 68, 69, 69. A score that is a once-in-a-lifetime score, and end up second.
Thank you. Great job, Nancy.
But you got to hand it to Allison. She was so clutch through the whole week. Had a little trouble with distance control and a couple iron shots. The adrenaline was running, but she did what she had to do. And boy, that third shot out of that tight lie on 18, she could have chunked that so easily, but she did what she needed to do.
So little Allison Nicholas wins the 52nd U.S. Women's Open. We'll be back for more thoughts and, of course, the 18th green presentation from Pumpkin Ridge. What a Sunday outside of Portland. Allison Nicholas finally wins the duel on the 18th green. She's the champion.
Thank you, Dan, with Nancy Lopez. And Nancy, I know it's got to hurt.
It was
4 rounds in the
there.
60s. It's never happened before, and it comes up short. A couple mistakes coming in. I'm sure you'd like to have over.
Yeah, I would like to, but I played my hardest, and I was trying every stroke. And Allison was tough. She played really hard, and she played really great.
Would this have to be the most exciting championship you've ever played in?
It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I never felt nervous. I always felt really calm and just wanting to go for it. And I think maybe that might have got me in trouble on one hole today on 15, where I kind of went for the pin there instead of the green. But it's just a fantastic feeling to be able to walk down those fairways trying to win the United States Women's Open, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
The crowd was with you every step of the way.
Thank you very much.
Nice playing. Sorry. Back to you, Dan.
Okay, Roger. Emotional Lopez. This was the scene moments ago as they signed their scorecards. Allison Nicholas offering her congratulations. It really was a shame somebody had to lose. We're back with a presentation in a moment. Well, what a week for Allison Nicholas. No rounds over par. 70, 66, 67. Today's 71. It's the lowest score under par in Open history, breaking Pat Bradley's mark at 9 under and 81.
Stay right here with me and ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, please, may I introduce to you the 1997 United States Women's Open champion, Allison Nicholas. Gary Koch will do her first interview.
Allison, congratulations. You played so beautifully on the front nine. The back nine, it got a little tougher. What was the most difficult shot you had to play?
Oh, well, that one at 14, I only had a wedge in, but I think I had a bit of adrenaline behind it, and it flew the green. So I just had to hang in there as long as I could. It was just a tremendous day, and I can't quite believe it right now.
Well, the fans were obviously very supportive. They were very supportive of Nancy, but they were very supportive of you too.
Yeah, the fans were fantastic. All of you were just brilliant, and I understand that you wanted Nancy to win, but you supported me just as much, and she's a great champion and a great legend of the game, and it was a privilege to play with her today.
She's also been a little bit of an inspiration to you too, hasn't she? I know she gave you some advice after the Solheim Cup a few years ago.
Yeah, she was very kind. She beat me on that occasion, 6-5 if I remember rightly, at the Solheim Cup at Lake Nona. And I got a severe drumming there, and I learnt a few things, and she very kindly chatted to me and said that I should have another go on the US tour, and I can thank her very much for that.
Allison, at any point in your golfing career, did you ever dream you'd win the United States Women's Open Championship?
I've had lots of dreams, and I think perhaps that's probably been one of them, but I never, you know, until it happens, you never know whether it's going to be a reality or not. But today is just terrific, and I thank all my friends for supporting me and for all their prayers. Thank you.
Well, congratulations to you, and we'll go back up and join Dan Hicks.
Okay, Gary, thank you very much. And as we sit here with Marlene Floyd and Johnny Miller, I don't know about you guys, but I've gained more respect even not only for Nancy Lopez, but for Allison Nicholas to win this championship with all of that pressure. She knew exactly that all the crowd was mainly for Nancy, but to pull it out and win it was huge.
The magnitude of the consequences was the thing that both players tried to get it out of their mind and played the greatest maybe Open I have ever seen.
Johnny?
Well, the eagle at 4 was really big. You know, Nancy knocked it in there tight. She'd already birdied one hole before that. And let's take a look at this on top of Nancy. She knew Nancy had a gimme birdie, and the momentum was switching towards her, and she was a little unlucky. A little lucky that ball hit the pin and went in, but it's still a great shot.
And the whole round taking on a sense of match play, but in the end it was Allison Nicholas with a 10-under score, a shot better than Nancy Lopez, who closed with a 69. We'll join NBC Sports next Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, for the Jowl Big Apple Classic presented by Golf Magazine. Michelle McGann's finished in the top 10 at this event the last 2 years. Caroline Pierce defends. Will this be Michelle's year to break through and win? That's the Jowl Big Apple next Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Tonight on Dateline, after years of investigation, the murder of a young woman has gone unsolved, yet someone keeps searching. A mother's quest for justice. That's tonight on Dateline. Then must-see comedy of Third Rock from the Sun and News Radio, followed by the NBC Sunday Movie Chasers starring Tom Berenger. That's all tonight on NBC. Nancy Lopez, emotional day at Pumpkin Ridge in her 21st Open, not able to close the deal, but the championship's shortest player at 5 feet tall stands the tallest tonight.